Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. This morning, we're on location at Wisconsin's largest shopping center, Southridge Mall, and this will be the location of CW18 and My 24's Family Fest. It's happening February 7th and 8th, and it's free and open to the public. There will be a number of outstanding organizations here at Family Fest this year, showcasing what makes them special, and one of those organizations is the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra. Here to tell us more about MYSO and how they change the lives of young people is Carter Simmons, the artistic director at the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you here. It's my pleasure. And basically, I want to start off talking about the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
Sure.
You've been celebrating, what, 60 years of excellence?
Near 60 years. We're in the middle of our 59th year. We were started out by community leaders from Junior League and Rotary 1956, and we've grown to be one of the largest youth orchestra programs in the entire United States, serving about 1,000 students.
That's awesome. So we're talking about 1,000 students, 200 schools, 60 communities, and 14 counties in southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, for that matter.
That's right. And what's so great about the organization, the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, is that we use the vehicle of music and music education to help students from any kind of background participate and get together and move forward in their lives and develop really outstanding skills that they're going to need later on.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because research shows that music education equips students with the foundational abilities to learn, to achieve in other core academic subjects, and to develop the capacities, the skills, and the knowledge for lifelong success.
That is exactly right. I couldn't say it better. And what we're really delighted to be able to highlight is that we now have statistically valid research backing up all of what you just said. And you know, a typical rate or percentage that is something that's really a positive thing for a student is a 30 to 40% gain in those cognitive and performance skills. And what we're seeing through the research that has been done on our organization is that we're actually at 51%, and so we're really delighted about that, and we're going to be studying not just parts of our organization that we've developed over this last decade, but all of our organization going forward, and we're very, very excited about all of that.
Yes, and you should be. I think back, and I played the flute for...
Awesome.
I know, people are like, really? I played the flute for 5 years,
Sure.
Middle school and elementary school, and I think I got too cool. Like, I thought I was too cool in high school to carry it on, but there really is a discipline for learning to play an instrument and then continuing to do what it takes to get better at performing.
Oh, you're exactly right.
I was always the last chair.
No,
I'm
sure not. Well, what's so great about music is there's obviously, when you're just starting out in music and when families are getting their young family members involved in music, there's always an excitement there. But you're right, it's sequential learning, and so it becomes more fun the more you do it and the more you learn about it. And what's wonderful about music and art in general is that the more you learn, the more you appreciate, and you can take it literally all through your life. And while you may not have continued on with your flute performance, you certainly do appreciate everything about it.
Oh yeah.
And what's wonderful about all the students that come together in our building, the Milwaukee Youth Arts Center, which is a collaboration between First Stage and the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, what's great about that place is that it can give the student what they need at the time that they need it. And so we've got students anywhere from 8 years old all the way through 18 years old, moving with this vehicle of music and getting to be not only better performers, but they're becoming better people. And what we're also finding is that the families of the students that we bring in also change. They're also transformed by this artistic or just rich environment. It's not necessarily even artistic, but I mean it is. But
I mean, you appreciate the skills that these children hone, because I mean, I said that I became too cool, but the truth is that my interest changed too, cheerleading and dance. But those students that are passionate about their music and playing their instruments, it really is fun to watch them become engaged and to watch them on stage during a performance, because they really are good at what they do. And so when we talk about students being age 8 to 18, how in fact would someone at home get their child involved?
Well, by and large, our organization is an audition-based performance organization. We have developed other areas where a student without any skill, a musical skill, can get involved. But historically, it's been, hey, come down, you play this instrument, you want to do more, you're involved in your school band or your school orchestra, but you want to do more, and you want to do more maybe at a level that would challenge you in different ways. And so each year in April, we'll have a set of days that students can come down and they'll play for the professionals that we hire or that work with us. They'll play a short piece of music, show some of their skills, and then we'll be able to ascertain where they would best be served by the organization. So that's kind of the historical underpinnings of how we get kids involved. However, in this last decade, and something that we're most proud of, and we're being looked at as a national model to continue forward, is our community partnership programs. And one of the keystones of that whole set of programs is our Progressions program. The Progressions program is going to be giving a concert next week on the 29th at 5:30 at the building, the Youth Arts Center. So I'd invite anyone who's interested to know more about it to check us out on that day. But that staff has developed a curriculum that brings in third graders that are recommended from Milwaukee Public Schools or city schools, from underrepresented and underserved communities, and we provide them instruments and 3 days of after-school sessions so they can learn how to play music, and then we bring them into some of the organization that has existed for many years, and we bring them all through the entire organization. So that Progressions program is about 80 students, but we have, since it started, brought in students that are now, those graduates of that program are now up and down all of the most advanced orchestras and are great leaders and examples for those kids that are just starting out. So there are a variety of ways of getting involved. Another great program that we started because it was culturally relevant and something that we thought would be very interesting for the kids to do. But when you think of a youth orchestra, this is not something you think about, is a steel band.
Oh, wow. So
we've got this incredibly hip program, which you know, is based out of Caribbean and Trinidad, and it's, you know, if you don't know it, it's literally mallets on hammered steel pans to get different pitches. And we've developed not one band, but two bands that meet on Thursdays. And they just played for the Bucks for Martin Luther King's, you know, the celebration, and they're all over the city. So there's anything from symphony orchestras, like our senior symphony that's going to go tour to the home of Vienna Philharmonic in Austria this summer, to our flute chorales. I would have kept you in the flute chorale and the chamber flute ensemble. I would have had you in there.
Oh, wow.
Our band, and then there's the youngest kids in our Progressions program, and our prelude orchestras. And what's going to be here at the Family Fest is part of our jazz program.
Okay.
So if you want to come and hear some jazz, come on that Saturday, and we're going to certainly be here and we'll entertain you. But there's a little of everything at the youth orchestra for kids.
Yeah, and it's funny how as I get older, I have more appreciation for jazz. I used to, oh my God, turn it off. But you know, it's like you can tell I'm an interesting individual. But it's just really, I'm excited to see this. And you have some merit-based scholarships that young people can take advantage of. We
do. The merit-based scholarships are actually much smaller than the need-based scholarships. Our merit-based scholarships are based quite often in leadership, demonstrated leadership in the organization. One that we highlight each year is the Patoker Award for students that are graduating high school. Another is a newer award for students that are graduates of our progressions program but that have stayed in the program, and there's some leaders in our community that have decided that they would like to support those kids that stay with our program, and so those types of leadership programs. But we actually as an organization are very different from almost any other youth orchestra in the country, where we give hundreds of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of direct support, either through teaching, instruments, or lesson scholarships. So we're actually sending money out the door from our organization into private studios across the region so students can learn on their own time in their own relationship with their private teacher. And I'm not aware of anyone else who does it quite like that. We found it to be very effective because the family and the student has an existing relationship with a fine teacher that they have chosen, and we give those students direct support. It's awfully expensive to do it, but it's really been effective for them and for the organization. So the organization's a great performance organization, but we're also throwing all these other types of support and different kinds of ways to help people out wherever they are. Because we've got a set of kids that really have got any kind of goal you can imagine. Most of the kids that come into the program are not going to be musicians, and that's smart because there's not a lot of professional jobs.
Some, and then there are some who are just so awesome at it that they stick to it and they make money doing it.
That's exactly right. And so we've got kids that have gone out, they're professional composers. There are kids that are in many of the major symphony orchestras in the United States, in the Milwaukee Symphony, in the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, in the Cleveland Orchestra, in the Philadelphia Orchestra. They're all over the country, but that is not our mission. Our mission, that is a byproduct of our mission. Our mission is to help students using the vehicle of music and move them as far as they can go using that vehicle. And so what I mean by that is that I'll have a student who wants to go off and become a doctor or study finance or biology or any of those kinds of things, but yet they are attracted to the skill. They may have parents that know that this is good for them and have started them out, and now they're also with us. So you have these incredibly determined young people that come in all these different ages, and they're put together once a week in their rehearsal, and magic happens. They could be poor, they could be wealthy, they could have a learning disability, they could have a hearing disability, they could have all kinds of different things going on in their lives. They could have all sorts of family situations that we've heard of over time, very, very serious family issues going on, and yet the vehicle of music and the experience of being with everybody else that's doing it is healing, and it's magical, and it just helps them out. And so we'll have kids that'll graduate this year, and they will go to UWM, they will go to Cardinal Stritch, they'll go to Madison, they'll go to Marquette, they'll go to many of the different schools here. We'll have them go to Juilliard. We'll have them go to the to the conservatories, Oberlin, Madison School of Music. They'll go everywhere in the country, and some will go into the military. So we've got everything going on there. It's just it's a microcosm of the whole world right there on 3rd and Walnut at the Milwaukee Youth Arts Center.
Well, I think you've done an outstanding job painting the picture of all the outstanding things that you're doing when it comes to molding young musicians, and then all the different options that they have, taking with them the skills that they gained from being a part of your organization. And I think that says a lot about everything that you do. So, and I also think that you've made a lot of people definitely want to check out the kids when they take the stage. So they can go to your website to find out about any upcoming performances.
That's right. So we have, our website is pretty simple. It's just www.myso.org, because we're nonprofit. And then if you would like to call us, it's just 414-267-2950. My name again is Carter Simmons. I'm the artistic director. Just call me up if you have some interest in the program. We'll see if we can get you involved. But we've got performances by our jazz program this weekend, our Jazz Heritage Festival, where we highlight our neighborhood, the Bronzeville neighborhood, which was replete with great jazz, and which we are trying to keep alive with our program. And then next week we've got our Progressions program, as I mentioned, on the 29th, and then our Rhythmic Revolution. Come and hear the steel band and our Bronzeville Jazz Quintet, and then my orchestra and our wind ensembles performing at the Marcus Center on February 8th in the afternoon. So come to the Family Fest, and then get over to the Marcus Center and you can hear us.
Thank you so much for coming by, and I'm looking forward to seeing the young people take the stage and represent the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Andrea.
All right, Carter Simmons is the artistic director, as you heard, at the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, and again, they will be at this year's Family Fest happening Saturday, February 7th and Sunday, February 8th here at Southridge Mall. You can log on to cw18milwaukee.com for all those details. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll switch gears and focus on an organization whose mission is to build healthier lives, free up cardiovascular disease and stroke. We'll talk with the representative from the Metro Milwaukee American Heart Association right after this.